What's up, y'all? This is Henny. Hold on, man. Let me get these AirPods. Listen, if these AirPods ain't the best invention Apple has made within the last few years, come on, these things are invaluable. Back to the intro. What's up, y'all? This is Henny. Today I want to tell you the best thing that I found for backing up on your iOS devices, and I'm talking about this. This is the WD My Passport Wireless in the SSD form. And when I tell you this thing is actually gonna really shape the way you can do so much more on your iPad, if you have space or if you don't have space, if you invest in something like this, boy, this will really take your mobile iOS game to another level. And on top of that, I really wanna talk about my favorite lenses that I'm using with this Canon up here. With the Canon M50 and what I figured out as far as what's my go-to lenses for this camera. Y'all know what to do, do you? I don't know, I know what to do. Let's go. The business. First things first, this is not a sponsored post. You know, I was thinking about hitting up Western Digital, be like, yo, send your boy one of them wireless SSD things. But I wanted to get this video out and I really wanted to see what it could do. So I didn't even hit them. I just went to Amazon and copped it because a member of this community actually told me about this great device and I had to check it out for myself because I've tried a few things as far as backing up your files, as being able to get files back and forth to your iOS devices. And this WD My Passport Wireless is pretty dope. Let's get into it. So the WD My Passport Wireless SSD is kind of like a box, you know, it's a box shape. It's not the smallest, right? But it has a nice size to it. It has a hard drive built in. They've actually had a version before this that doesn't have an SSD drive in it. And if you don't know the difference between like a normal mechanical hard drive versus an SSD drive where there's no moving parts, the main difference is going to be in, you know, durability. And anytime you're going to be out, you know, moving around and, you know, your hard drive's bumping here and there, the last thing you want is for your hard drive to fail. And that's why these SSD drives are the future for the time being. And so when I seen that they had a My Passport Wireless SSD, I had to check it out. Full disclaimer, this thing comes in a whole bunch of different sizes from 256 gigabytes all the way to, I believe, 2 terabytes. And they are not the cheapest. This thing that I have is the 500 gigabyte version in it. I think on Amazon right now is about 280 bucks. So it's not the cheapest. But let me tell you exactly why I got this versus, hold on, what I've had before, which is this RAV Power little device that I've had before. The reason I haven't been using this as much, one, is because I stopped using my Sony gear, and man, I wish Sony would just give us a different codec so that it would be so available to just, you know, import your footage directly into your devices without having to use something like this. So for all my users out there who use Sony, anything Sony camera related, this is gonna be a game changer for you with your footage. Anybody out there using external audio devices, you know, something like this, the Zoom H22 or anything that has external audio, this is a great way to get your files on there and be able to really sift through them using LumaFusion. Let me break this down. This SSD drive has a few ports. It says a USB 2 where you can import, you know, your hard drives and stuff like that. It has a USB 3 where you can actually charge it and connect it to a computer. It has a power button. It has a battery that's supposedly supposed to be a 10-hour battery. For my use, it's been able to go, you know, a full day because I'm not out all day long trying to do things. But for most people, it should run you a good day. And then they have this cool one-touch backup button where you just hit this button and hold it down for 2 seconds and it starts copying the files over. This is the game changer part because on this side, it has an SD drive. And so when I turn this on, it's gonna give me 2 lights. It's gonna give me my wireless light and then, you know, transfer light, and it's gonna let you know that it's loading up, right? And so even without turning on my iPad, I'm trying to get my footage, right? I'm trying to get my footage from a card. Maybe my car filled up, or I wanted to switch cards, or I just am on the go and maybe I'm going from location to location and I want to make sure that I get my footage already backed up. All I do is I take this card, pop it in there, right? Once it learns that the SD card is in the slot, it can automatically back up. I don't want to do that. There's also a setting where you can set it to just hit this one time, hit this for 2 seconds, and it automatically start going one after you've pushed this button. Hopefully that made sense. All right, so I hit this button for 2 seconds and it's gonna start. You see that light blinking? It's gonna start copying the file. I haven't turned on the iPad. See, iPad's all blanky blank right now. Now think about this. You're on the go, you're editing, you're recording, you're doing your thing, and you wanna make sure that you get your files backed up. And sometimes the convenience of just doing it without even thinking, has it been backed up, to have to sit there and wait for it. All the things that are time consuming can be a hassle. Because something like this RAV Power, you have to actually connect to your device first and then do all the copying from your iOS device before you can see if it's fully completed and all of that. With this, all you have to do is hit that one touch button and it's already copying over the entire contents of that card. That right there was a game changer. Oh no, by the way, this is a little rubber case that comes with it. So the actual box is like this, right? So you can see it's still copying and I'm still being quite rough with this. It's all over the place, but I have the confidence that these files are gonna get backed up even with me messing with it like this and it's getting jumbled up. So from a durability standpoint, this thing is gonna be able to hold up, and I truly believe it is. Now let me take you to the actual app and show you exactly how it's working and how it works so well with LumaFusion. So once you have it connected directly to your iPad via Wi-Fi, you connect it to Wi-Fi, you put in the password that it gives you, and you have it connected, you'll go and you'll have this My Passport app. And so if I go over here and I connect to this, I can see exactly what's on this drive, right? So it's showing me right here that I have this SanDisk, and you see that blue line? That's the contents being copied over. Let me go back. That's already being copied over. I'm just showing you exactly, but it's already been copying over. And this is the storage part. This is where it has all your files stored. So I've took a few cards and I have put the cards in and transferred stuff over. So the cool thing is it gives you a file that says SD card imports. I'm hitting that, it shows one today, it shows one from the other day, and it shows my files. All right, say for instance, this video file here, some stuff I was helping my wife out with her job. This is the 4K file, it's playing back. Now here's where it gets good. Now, if I go into LumaFusion, the first thing it'll do is pop up and say, hey, I see that you have a WD drive, would you like to connect it? And so it's already, in collaboration with these drives, so it understands that these wireless drives are supposed to work with LumaFusion. And so you can see right here, now I automatically have a My Passport button over here to import files directly from this. Now, if I jump into there and I go to my storage and I go back to where that file was, it's gonna show me my clips that I've imported, and I can automatically scrub through the clip without even importing it to LumaFusion. I can find the exact part of the clip that I want. Say for instance, right there, find the back part. And then it's literally gonna give you these lines to let you know that it's downloading this little piece. Dope thing about this, it can be the audio files, it can be, pictures, it can be different PNG files. It doesn't have to just be video files, but what it's doing is it's downloading that media directly onto your timeline. And so you don't have to worry so much about importing all of this footage all at once and, being able to have the space to edit and do all of those things. So now it's on my device, and as you can see, just that little piece that I copied over, copied to my drive onto LumaFusion. And it's perfect for being able to select just the right parts of each clip And so you can save you a lot of space. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't a cheap thing. Being able to copy on the go, being able to import directly into LumaFusion, this thing is a game changer. And not only for video, but also for audio too. You can take files and say, for instance, you have, I don't know, a whole bunch of samples, right? You know, you have a whole collection of samples and ideas for music, and you don't want to clog up your entire iPad with all of your samples, all of your drums, all of your loops, whatever it may be. You can do the same thing. Go back in here. So if I eject the SD card that had my video files on it, I hit the eject button, boom, I can bust that out, right? Bow, it's out of here. Put in this SD card that has audio files in it, and I can see all my files right here, right? So say for instance, I have this wave here. I have this wave file. All I need to do is select this file and say download. So basically you can take the files, you can download them, whatever files you need directly onto this app, and then share it, you know, do the open in. I can open it in audio share, I can open it in BeatMaker, whatever it is. You can take a zip file, drop that in the audio share. So as you can see, you can do the audio files, the video files, the one-touch backup, and the ease of mind of knowing that this device isn't gonna break down on you. And it's gonna give you what you need to get your files securely backed up, or giving you more space between, you know, a device and your iOS device. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, but you know, there's a lot of people who want to figure out, you know, can I use the 2018 iPad? Can I use an iPad Air 2? Or some of these things don't have as much space as maybe this iPad Pro with 512 gigabytes. And so maybe you only can be able to do things project by project. Now, if you're investing into something like this, and maybe you don't need the full SSD version, maybe you're not moving around as much. Maybe you can get the regular hard drive versions that are a lot cheaper. I'll link both the wireless SSD and the wireless regular HD down below so that you'll be able to see the difference in prices. But I'm telling you, there are ways of getting around having to go back and forth to a computer, to a laptop, to be able to do the things you want to do on your iPad. And just as much as, you know, you get your files here, you can back them up from LumaFusion, from something else like BeatMaker, maybe a BeatMaker backup into this, and then take it to your computer and do another backup if you want to be, you know, have those double backups to make sure you're never losing your files. That's something that I do, and just use maybe like a 4 terabyte drive that you don't move around as much, and you just put all your files in there just so that they're stored up and you never get rid of those old files and that old footage. Now, woo! Let's talk about the lenses that I've been using, which ones I've been really admiring with this good old Canon M50. So yes, for the last month, I have been using this Canon M50 and have been enjoying it quite a bit. As you can see right here, I have this with the little mic and the fuzzy wind joint with the kit lens. That's how I was recording this top-down video that we just were watching. But I've gone through quite a few of the EF-M lenses just to check them out, just to see if I like them or if I need them. Because like I said in past videos, I do not want a whole bunch of gear that I have to lug around all the time. I want to be able to have the right pieces of gear for the right moment. And so I tried the 11-22. That should be bing or bing. Somewhere on this screen, I'll show y'all that picture. I've already sent that thing back. Let me be honest, that's actually probably one of the sharpest lenses for this camera. It has a very wide range to an f/22. It's 11-22, but the aperture is an f/4. And the fact that I do a lot of indoor stuffs in studios, in studio environments, in house environments, it just wasn't doing it for me for the low light capabilities. But if I was outside and I was vlogging, doing this a lot more, it would have been perfect. The fact that the camera comes with this 15-45 kit lens, it does very well for those type of scenarios when I'm outside and when I need something a little bit wider. My favorite is the 22 f2 lens in the EF-M mount. This is what I use a lot for taking my pictures. Basically, it's the most compact, it's the easiest to take around. I can put on one of these, Peak Design slings and just kind of clip it on and sling it around my body. And with the family during the weekends, I do that all the time. and this is just a go-to. It has a f2, so it's very good. Well, I wouldn't say very good, but it's pretty good in low light, and it takes great pictures, and I've talked about that before. I did get the adapter. Yeah, so I got the EOS M adapter for mounting bigger Canon glass to the M50, and so I got the nifty 50, right? The 50 millimeter 1.8 that I can stick on this boy, and this works very well with the camera. If I wanted to do, I took some pictures of my daughter at our final ballet practice, and you know, some video of that. You know, anything where I needed a little bit more reach and I wanted to try to get some more portraits. But what I realized, this wasn't as sharp as I wanted it to be. But nifty 50 is pretty cool. The favorite lens as far as image quality that I've seen come out of this camera with the lens combo is the lens that I'm using right here to record this video. It's that legendary Sigma 18 to 35 1.8. And when I put this, using this adapter on this camera, I mean, I get amazing image quality. I get amazing video quality. Amazing low light, but it's big as hell. So I took pictures of my kids, you know, going back to school last week, and the pictures came out great, right? The video came out great. Everything was great. And so if you want a very versatile lens, if you are not worried so much about having a very big lens on top of a small body, this lens is crazy. But other than that, I've tried some cool manual lenses that are very cheap. And I did a little review, let me just roll that clip. It's late Saturday night, man. Just come to y'all real quick, like. Yeah, let me just show y'all the couple lenses I've been messing with. So this is the Canon 50 millimeter 1.1 lens. It's going to give you some really great shallow depth of field. You know, all the lenses that I've been testing are manual. And the great thing about this camera is the fact that, you know, this camera has focus peaking. So we can really kind of like, you know, twist and really get the edge of your subject lined in the color that you specify. I have it in red. When you know, use a manual lens like this, you can really get some cool shots. And I'll put the shots up here. Bam! You can see you can get some really, really cool shots. The other lens right here that I have here is the 7 Artisans 35 1.2 lens. This is another dope lens. I've also been trying this out as well, mainly for pictures, because I mean also for video. I mean, it's really to get an even shallower depth of field. I'm really, for the most part, I've been used to full frame cameras for a long time, starting with, you know, the 5D Mark II, you know, to the 5D Mark III, to the A7R, the A7S, RX1. I've tried a lot of full frames, and I love the look. I love the shallow depth of field, but I love the portability of these mirrorless guys. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out how I can get the best of both worlds. And these two lenses are kind of dope, and they're very inexpensive. One I think was $145. That was this guy. And the other was the Canon. I believe this might have been $160. I just put on the kit lens right here. I'm rocking the kit lens right now on this M50. For me, wanting that even crisper looking photos, yeah, I gotta be on the search. So if you guys are looking for wanting to start on some, you know, manual lenses and really trying to understand like the manual lens game and see if that works for your, you know, it's cool for me, but it's late. Just thought I'd come to y'all in the middle of this video. Y'all know what it is. So yeah, I've used quite a bit of lenses, and over time I realized, what do I need? What do I actually need for my uses? And I realized I wanted something simple. I wanted something small that had good quality, something that was comparable to the two cameras that I got rid of. And the 22 millimeter does it for, I would say, 80 to 90% of my daily needs. And for any other things that are different, you know, any other types of recording, video, or whatever, I think I can try to work it around the different scenarios that I have already. Try to get the best out of what you have. And then try to figure out exactly what's not working for you. Is it, you know, the pictures are too grainy, or they're not sharp enough, or whatever it is, but try to figure out what works in your budget. Even when it comes to this WD, if this is a little too expensive for your taste, you know, figure out something that you might be able to do to back up your files so that you can kind of get on this journey of doing all of this in this iOS space, man. I really want to try to help you get there. All in all, man, just make sure that you practice. You practice. It's all a discipline. You know, my wife thinks I'm crazy because I carry the camera around. My kids think I carry the cameras and the gear and the music, anything that I'm passionate about. I want to carry it around. I want to really bring it into my everyday life and everything that I'm doing. And it's just constant practice, and you just get better just by doing random things. So don't worry so much about you not getting what you need. Sometimes it's just not practicing enough, and you'll be able to get the shots that you want, or the pictures that you want, or the tracks that you like, or the music that's really moving you. You'll be able to do that if you just continue to put the hours in. That's all I got for today, man. Woo! Let me know if y'all like that live video and if I should do that more frequently. And I'll try to answer as many questions as I possibly can between now and the next video. Y'all know what time it is, man. I'll see y'all in the next one, baby. And I'm out.